Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition Season 3 Episode 9. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So as you know, if you watched last week's episode, there was a lot of drama that went down at the spa. The ladies ended up separating from the guys and they did this whole spa day, and everyone could sense that there was still tension between Lyrica and Shekinah. Now, in order to break the ice and change the subject, Jen decided to let everybody know that for her event on the trip, she was going to do a 90s themed prom because her and Fresher never got to go to the prom together, and she wanted to do this prom so that the two of them would actually be able to go together. Now, everybody seemed excited about this event, but the ladies realized that they're the ones who won't have a date. Jen already has a date because obviously she's with Fresher, and so the ladies decided to pair up into groups of two to go together. Now, when Shekinah called that she wanted to go with Spice, Lyrica ended up saying that she would go with Spice, and so Shekinah in a playful way started calling, Spice a lot of names because, they're friends and people will do that. Like, you'll call your friend like bitch this, bitch that, and so that's what Shekinah was doing. And so Sukiyana could sense that there was tension in the room still between Shekinah and Lyrica, and she decided to tell everyone that she felt like the two ladies need to hash things out so that this argument doesn't end up coming out again later in the trip. So Lyrica says that she had no issues with Shekinah and that she was unaware that the two of them had an issue, and that whole interaction that happened between the two of them via Instagram where she asked Shekinah to post her song on her story was 3 years ago, and so she doesn't understand why Shekinah is holding on to that. But Shekinah ended up saying that somebody who is a very reliable source told her that Lyrica did not want any association with Shekinah because Shekinah is bad for her business. Now, Lyrica says that she never said that, and she wanted to know exactly who the source was that told this information to Shekinah, but Shekinah refused to tell on the person who told her this information. Now, Lyrica did say that she wished Shekinah would have just came to her about this whole situation, about her supposedly saying that, she felt Shekinah was bad for her business, but because Shekinah didn't do that, that's why they are where they are today with each other. Now, things got really heated between the two of them when Lyrica was speaking and Shekinah was making all types of faces at her while she was talking. This pissed Lyrica off to where Lyrica ended up calling Shekinah a little bitch. Now, I don't think that Lyrica should have called Shekinah a little bitch because you're provoking somebody to come back at you with something else. But I do feel like Shekinah was wrong for coming at Lyrica's mom. Now, she ended up calling Lyrica's mom a one-hit wonder, and this pissed Lyrica off, and everybody kind of felt like Shekinah went too far. And honestly, I feel she did too. Now, I feel like she should have said something back to Lyrica, okay? Because Lyrica started out calling people names. So if you're going to call people names, I feel like, Shekinah had every right to call Lyrica a name back. But she didn't call Lyrica a name back. She talked about her mother, and I feel like that was going a bit too far. So despite all the drama that took place at the spa day, everybody still decided to come together at the end of the night and gather for this 90s themed prom, which looked like it was a lot of fun. They were playing 90s music, everybody was dancing and enjoying each other's company, but the guys really didn't dress up. The ladies really did dress up like they were going to prom or some type of party, but the guys kind of dressed down very casual. But either way, it still looked like it was a lot of fun, and I think that this was a great idea for an event that Jen and Fresher ended up coming up with. Shekinah and Lyrica do end up showing up to the 90s themed prom separately, though. They don't show up at the same time. I think if they would have walked through the door at the same time, they would have fought, and that's the reason why they had them come at two separate times. But you can definitely feel the tension in the room, and Mama Jones was definitely feeling the tension in the room between the two of them to the point where she decided to get on the mic and she wanted to talk to the women because she feels like the women are not really bonding and not doing what they're supposed to be doing on the trip. They're just having tons of drama and nothing's getting resolved. Whereas the guys are actually talking, they're enjoying themselves, having a good time and bonding with one another, and that's what she really wanted for the women. But too many of the women on this trip have issues with each other for that to even happen. Now, Mama Jones knows for a fact that this is not going to be resolved between Lyrica and Shekinah, and so she said that she felt like if anybody has issues with each other and you can't talk it out, that you guys should just agree to not fuck with each other anymore and just avoid each other as much as you possibly can. And honestly, I agree with that. I feel like that's the mature way to go about things, but at the end of the day, if Shekinah and Lyrica can't get over their issues and they're in the same room, I don't really feel like they can control themselves. So for the most part at this party, Lyrica and Shekinah did stay separate from each other. They were sitting on opposite sides of the room, but they were facing in the same direction. And so they were basically giving each other dirty looks from across the room. Now, people could sense the tension between the two of them. So both Amara and Alexis Sky tried to step in and try to cool things down by having separate one-on-one conversations with each of them. And, Lyrica said that she didn't come on the trip to fight. She came on the trip to get away from the drama that she has back at home. She's in the middle of a divorce with A1, and she's trying to adjust to her new life being a single mother. And now she's trying to come on this trip to have a good time and escape that. And now she has all this drama that she didn't know she was going to have. And I believe that Shekinah did catch Lyrica off guard. I feel like she didn't think that they really had an issue. That was very clear for how she came up to Shekinah and tried to introduce herself to her. I feel like Shekinah is right to feel how she feels about Lyrica if somebody who she feels is a reliable source said that, Lyrica was talking about her. But I feel like Shekinah should have been woman enough to go to Lyrica and ask her about the situation. Now, she doesn't have to reveal her source if she doesn't want to. I don't think you have to do that, especially if that source is somebody who's close to her. But at the end of the day, I do feel like Shekinah should have tried to talk the situation out with Lyrica before refusing to shake her hand, because I think that caused more drama than it really needed to be. And I honestly feel like the drama is really petty. Now, Lyrica and Shekinah aren't the only ones who had tension at the party, because Gunplay ended up feeling some type of way about Miami Tip walking into the party. He didn't know who invited her on the trip and had no idea that she was coming. And I do know that in the previous episode, he was telling Nikki that the person that he has issues with, that is somebody he's dealt with romantically before in the past, is Miami Tip, because she keeps trolling him on social media ever since he got into a relationship with the woman that he is with now. And I mean, Miami Tip didn't come in there and say anything wrong to Gunplay. She didn't even go anywhere near him. I think she knew not to do that. And she stated that she didn't even know that her and Gunplay had issues with each other, but he could not control himself when she got on that mic and started to speak. He started swearing. He started calling her all types of names, and everybody had to go over there and try to calm him down. And honestly, I feel like he should have been calm in the situation. I don't know the story really between him and Miami Tip, because I wasn't watching Love and Hip Hop Miami consistently enough to know the drama between the two of them. But I think because he's a man and she's a woman, I do feel like they could have just kept their distance from each other. And I don't think that he had to do all that extra stuff like swearing and calling her names. But Mariah Lynn definitely did help defuse the situation, because nothing ended up happening between Miami Tip and Gunplay, because Mariah Lynn was talking to Gunplay, trying to calm him down and trying to get him to remember why he came on this trip and how positive he's been since he's been on the trip. Now, Lyrica took full advantage of the fact that everybody's focus was on Gunplay and Miami Tip and trying to keep them apart from each other, that while everybody was busy worrying about them, she got up out of her seat, walked up to where Shekinah was sitting at. Shekinah was sitting down, eating food, not paying attention, and Lyrica comes up to her and just hits her. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, she hit this girl while she had a mouthful of food. I really do feel like Lyrica should have fought Shekinah while Shekinah was standing up, or while Shekinah wasn't eating, because Shekinah didn't even know that Lyrica was coming at her, and so it kind of looks weak on Lyrica's part. But at the same time, I do feel like if Shekinah knows that she talked about somebody's family member and she's at the same event as them, you should probably keep your guard up the whole time and not be, buried in a plate of food. But I do think that Lyrica should have fought Shekinah while she was standing up. I think that it looks weak on Lyrica's part for hitting her off guard. But at the same time, when you talk about somebody's family member, you can't really control how they handle the situation. So she handled it the way she thought she needed to. And Lyrica ended up getting sent home, unfortunately. So at the very end of this episode, Mama Jones decides that she's going to do a Sunday dinner for everybody for her event on the trip, and she decides to keep it simple. She doesn't want to invite everybody, so anybody she thinks is drama or that has had any drama on the trip, she completely excludes them from her Sunday dinner. And the people who were not invited to the Sunday dinner ended up having their own party back at the hotel. I thought it was funny that, Mama Jones didn't invite certain people. She didn't want her event ruined, because she saw that every other event that people did on the trip got ruined, and she didn't want that to happen to hers, and so she did what she felt she needed to do. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.